Japanese power was too great, and after a battle lasting but a few days, the city fell to the invaders. In their occupation of Nanking, the Japs again outdid themselves in barbarism. The helpless populace was trapped by the city walls and could not flee. The Japanese soldiers went berserk. They raped and tortured. They killed and butchered. In one of the bloodiest massacres of recorded history, they murdered 40,000 men, women, children.
In Milan, Italy, after 2 decades of swaggering and a year in hiding, the inventor of fascism, Benito Mussolini himself, lay dead at the hands of an angry mob with his henchmen and his mistress. He was the victim of the same kind of mass violence that had brought him the power and position from which to spread his poisonous ideas through the world.
Today, in the waning weeks of the European war, the world sees proof of acts of savagery unparalleled in history. The Supreme Allied Commander himself views the Nazi murder mills with his generals. Fearing that word of these nameless horrors might not be believed at home, he summons lawmakers and editors to see for themselves, then report to America. At this fiendish gallows, men died in drawn-out agony. In the new light of this camera record, the last war's atrocity stories, once thought propaganda, gain new credence. This is Ohrdruf concentration camp, liberated by the 3rd United States Army. These Nazi officers, with civilians from the nearby town, are hearing the story of Ohrdruf's 4,000, starved, beaten, or burned to death. Military police herd the Germans into a prison shed. A Nazi officer declines and is pushed in by an MP. The stench inside is overpowering. Quicklime has been poured on the bodies to assist decomposition. Hadamar was an insane asylum where the sane were murdered. Former inmates help exhume some of those whose crime was non-belief in the Nazi ideology. Dr. Adolf Baumann, the institution's evil genius. When citizens complained that gas used to murder his patients was polluting the air, the doctor considerately switched to poison. First Army officers gather evidence that will be used in his trial and in that of Karl Willig, official executioner. At Hadamar, 35,000 were exterminated.
He lay dead at the hands of the Italian people with his henchmen and his mistress.
If the Nazis buried nearby had read his famous book, they would have learned their fate beforehand. But there were other dead the Nazis didn't bury. Russian dead. They weren't soldiers, and they weren't killed in battle. No, these aren't dogs. These are children. Mass murder by orders of the High Command. And there were other children, perhaps more fortunate, perhaps less. Young girls, but not young now. The attentions of the Nazi soldiers aged them very quickly. And whoever resisted the invaders met with this. These are the things the Russians can never forget. These are the things the Russians will never forget. These are the reasons why every Russian pledged his life to uphold this sacred oath.